Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If there are any Tory voters here, you are a danger to all of us, to the planet, to the animals, to the humans. Now, if you're a voter at all, I regard you as a danger, because these psychopaths that are basically running the show and destroying everything they can for the sake of money, I regard you as a danger. But if you're a Tory voter, really, that you've really reached the absolute bottom of the pit. Really, the bottom of the pit. You obviously don't know what it's like to have compassion for the poorest people in society. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a security announcement. Your government are out to terrorise you by making things look really frightening when actually you're living in the safest place in the world, in the safest time in the world. You are more likely to die from a DIY accident than you are from a terrorist threat. So do be careful with your DIY, please.
Can you just stop that?
What's that?
It's private property. You have to move.
Sorry, who are you?
I am the supervisor.
Yeah.
No, I am the supervisor.
Yeah, please don't touch my stuff, please.
Leave the premises.
I'm afraid it's freedom of speech, my friend.
No, it isn't. This is
I
private
think it is.
property.
I think it is.
Right, police are called.
Now, the corporations, not only have they taken over all the shops, they've taken over all the public spaces and turned them into private property. Not that you would care, of course, as long as you can get your Greg's pasty that will end up and you're giving some business to your oncologist, your cardiologist, your dentist. They're all doing nicely out of all these scams, isn't it? All the rubbish they sell in these shops. It seems to me that you're actually breaking the law because you are impersonating a police officer.
What makes you say that?
Because you're dressed up like a police officer, but you're not actually a police officer.
Well, you're not actually a politician, mate, so why are you standing
What do you mean
there?
I'm not a politician? Who defines what a politician is? I'm standing in the General Delusion on June the 8th, and I'm entitled to stand here and speak, am I not?
I'm not sure about the megaphone, mate, to be
You're
honest.
not sure about the megaphone? Well, what's against the law about the megaphone? Politicians use megaphones.
Freedom of speech. Yeah.
Oh, he's radioing back for help. He's radioing back for help. Anyway, can I ask you, why are you impersonating a police officer, sir? It's against the law to impersonate a police officer, and you are not a police officer, but you are dressed up like one.
Yeah, got some sort of guy. There might be some sort of public order in a minute.
Oh, I've got some sort of guy, and he's doing some sort of public order problem he's got here. Really? Seriously, am I breaking the law?
No, mate, I'm more concerned for your safety than
Are
anything.
you more concerned for my safety? Thank you very much. Isn't that funny when the police, or someone dressed up as a policeman, is concerned for my safety? Can I tell you, sir, I will take care of myself. I don't need you. Thank you very much. Please carry on with your business. I'm talking to the people, all right? Thank you. You're free to go now. Anyway.
I'll go when I like, mate.
Yes, you will go when you like. You're free to stay if you want to stay with me. We can even have a hug if you like. Would you like a hug?
No.
Good Labour. I'm standing in the General Delusion on June the 8th. I'm the only independent candidate. I'm standing independent of the whole system because the system is a joke. You are deluded if you think that your vote makes a blind bit of difference, because it doesn't. The whole system is rigged, completely and utterly rigged. The guys at the top, Theresa May, is controlled, right? Jeremy Corbyn is controlled. It's all rigged, right? They're all of them, blue, red, yellow, green, are a bunch of murderers, liars, philanderers, cheats, fraudsters, right? And they're all getting their money and power from you. Yeah, taxation. I am the only candidate. Look, he's on the radio now. He's getting all excited. Nothing's happened in this place for years as exciting as this. You know, other than someone overdosing on Greg's. I'm the only candidate that is demanding the end to all taxation. They should not be stealing your money. Taxation is armed robbery. But you've been brainwashing your schools like I was to think that it's necessary. They take 80% of your money away, 80%, and it's all the poor that pay for it. The rich just pay their accountants to make sure they don't have to pay any tax. Now, by the way, all the parties are so sick, they'll even nick from you after you die. They nick from your grave. They call it inheritance tax, but it's armed robbery from dead people. That's how sick they all are, right? And they're all at it, right? That's number one. Number two, if you want to get some money somewhere, the government can create money and do create money at a press of a button. What do they give it to? £365 billion was given to who in the last few years by the so-called government, who I call pirates? Who was it given to, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody know? The banks, correct. They gave it to their friends, the banks. But you know what they could have done? What could they have done? Given it to you. That's right. They could have given it to you. But the reason they can't give it to you is because Theresa May is under the thumb of the bankers. And she can't do that. She can't, otherwise they'll have her shot. Yeah? That's what we've got going here. It's a racket. It's a scam. The whole thing is a scam. This street is a scam.
We've been called because somebody's been giving speeches in town. Some people have found that a little bit iffy, okay? Not the speech itself, but some of the content, okay? Whilst we've been here, you haven't said anything too derogatory, that's fine, okay? But we've had some people approach us who don't want to give us statements, who said you've been quite rude, okay? And some people who have found that to be a little bit insulting.
Right.
I do need to make you aware of the fact that if you continue in that vein and we are present or somebody wishes to provide a statement, you do fall under the Public Order Act, okay? At which point you may be arrested at that point. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
What you seem to be implying is that if I say anything that somebody takes objection to, you think that I'm breaking a law.
No, it would be an allegation at that point. It would need to be investigated and you'd be interviewed about it. But yes, if
What would you mean I'd be interviewed about it?
You'd
Where?
be interviewed about
Where?
it at a police station.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't you have to do some investigation as to what I actually said and whether it falls?
Yeah, and that would fall under the remit of an interview with yourself. Yes.
What? So anything I say,
Not
you could
anything
arrest-
you say,
so
no.
What then? What then? If someone came to you and they wanted to make a report, would you not decide whether that comes under the wording? Are you aware of the wording of the Public Order Act?
I am indeed.
What is
I'm
your
not going to
understanding?
discuss that with you now. It's basically if you make comments or have behaviour or use words or signs or anything along those lines that people or anybody could be insulted, that type of thing, could be insulted, that type of thing, and you
Excuse
could
me,
be
that's
arrested.
not proper.
No,
That's
I
not
don't-
the law. That's not the wording of the law, and it's extremely
Well, it's
important that you know
the wording
of the law.
is likely to cause harassment, alarm and distress, okay? And that is what you've been doing. You've made some comments about people coming out of Greg's, okay? Not quite enough, but if the lady in Poundland was quite upset about some of the things you said to her.
Excuse me, can I ask you, but while we're here talking about Poundland, it says everything's a pound, and then they've got something finished for £5. That is false advertising, is it
You
not?
need to
What are you
speak to
going to do
Poundland about that. Nothing at all.
Why? That's against the law.
No.
Is it not?
This is one of those conversations that's not going to end, isn't it?
Is it not against the law to do that?
But you need to speak to Poundland.
I need to speak to Poundland.
If you have an issue with something they're
Yeah, but
advertising, then yes, you
It's
would.
funny,
yeah.
isn't it? I need to speak to Poundland, but if I say something that someone might not like, and by the way, it has to be something that is likely to lead
right.
to alarm, harass, and distress,
That's
which
right.
means that that's to do with violence. It's
No,
not
it
to do
isn't.
with it.
No, it
it's
isn't.
not to do with someone
No,
being
it isn't.
upset.
It's to do with anybody's
Anything I can
perception.
say could be upset.
No, well,
be
it's
upsetting.
quite right. Yes, it is. Yes.
I mean, what you're saying right now could upset me. Does that mean you're breaking
Has
the
it
law?
upset you?
Well, no. Yes, actually, it has.
Well, you said
it's
no.
upset me. Yes, it does actually. It's upset me to think
Okay.
that you are basically threatening me with arrest.
I'm not threatening you
if
with arrest.
If somebody doesn't like what
Now
I'm
you're
saying.
twisting words. What I said was
Yeah.
that if somebody finds something that you say or do or display
Yeah.
insulting, abusive, or intimidating in any way, then you could is likely to cause harassment, alarm, and distress. Then you could be arrested. And I used the word "could."
Right.
Okay.
I understand that.
Right.
But what you seem to be implying is that it's completely subjective to what anybody would the idea that, I mean, the Public Order Act is extremely problematic in my opinion. It's a terrible, terrible piece of legislation. But even if we go with it, even if I believe you have the power and right to do it, which I don't, even if you do, it's worded in such a way clearly that you have to say something that everybody is likely to take offence to. It's got to, and
about
not just take
everybody,
offence. It's
no.
not just about taking offence. It's about being frightened.
No, it's not about being frightened.
Well,
Harassment, alarm, or distress.
yes, that's about fear, isn't it? Really, it's not about just
Not
someone who
necessarily,
doesn't
no.
like something, is it?
No.
Okay, can
I
I?
don't think
I'd
I'm
like
gonna-
to speak to your sergeant. I'd like to speak to your
Then
sergeant.
please
Where
go
is
to
your
Kings Lynn
sergeant?
police station.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Yeah.
Okay.